Let's all celebrate and have a good time.
Kia ora, good morning, dzień dobry. Welcome to your favorite day of the week. It's Wellsday. My name is Michał, and today with us is Przemek. Hello, Przemek.
Hello,
Good
good
morning.
morning. Dzień dobry, sawadika, bonjour. Yeah,
I need to add one more language, I guess, so we can have equal.
last time
four.
was Spanish, but I was in Madrid. So this time I'm in Warsaw. So I limited myself
Okay.
to Polish.
Well, there you go. Well, welcome everyone. Today we'll be talking about Olympics. We indicated it last week, 2 weeks ago, in the July wrap-up. And this is quite interesting topic. But before we go there, quick round. There's the two of us of introduction, so you know to you. So my name is Michał. I'm originally from Poland. I moved to New Zealand 6 years ago. I've got 18, 19, almost 20 years of experience in HR and in the OD. I never know how many years, so I need to
It
calculate
differs
it properly.
every time when you speak.
I know, I need to calculate it properly. And look, I'm head of L&D in Sudima Hotels and HRNZ, a branch president for Auckland. And that's what I do in New Zealand currently. So I'm trying to make learning opportunities accessible for people and spread the knowledge, enhance skills for people in New Zealand and abroad, hopefully as well. Przemek, over to you.
My name is Przemek Jaczewski. I'm also Polish. I'm the CEO of Helpdesk, which is a leading innovation company in corporate well-being solutions in Europe. And for the last 3 years, I've been living in Southeast Asia. I'm also a postgraduate lecturer in the European University. And also my aim is to make the workplaces better places that are focused on employees' well-being and overall health, physically and mentally. And today we are going to talk, as Michał said, about Olympics.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So you might not think that Olympics have any impact on your well-being, but it is, and there, especially this Olympics in Paris had a big impact on a lot of different things, a lot of different areas of our lives. And yes, there was a beautiful sport and challenges, and a lot of good things happen, but there's a lot of controversies as well. So we're gonna talk about those controversies, but from a different point of view, not only from yes, this is Olympics and what is good, what is bad, but and this is credit to Przemek because this is your idea of looking at Olympics from as a two-step project. Like this is a company and running a big multinational, multicultural,
National, global project.
Global project. So that was something that Przemek mentioned to me, I'll say last week that we spoke, and I found it fascinating because I've never heard anyone thinking of Olympics this way. So I'll be keen to hear your perspective from as a CEO, as a marketer, as a strategist, your perspective on that, and I'll be happy to jump in with some ideas or questions about your opinions on that, because I think that might be quite good for the discussion. So yeah, first things first, when you look at a project like this, what are your thoughts? And when you compare this to the project that you've run in global projects, how this Olympics as a project looks like?
Well, the main question is, why are you doing this? Because when you run a company or you are the part of the big corporation, worldwide corporation, or that you are the owner of or the part of the company that's got a global impact, right? Like France has got global impact on other countries, on our culture, on our system of values, on the inspiration by art, by food, by language, by the way how people can love, because we are consumers of the romantic comedies that are produced in France as well. So lot of stereotypes, a lot of behavior patterns are sourced from France. So the main question is why such country like France is doing Olympics, and the usual answer should be that the country wants to present themselves. The country wants to present itself in the best possible way, and you're putting a lot of resources inside to make it happen. So if you've watched this year's Olympics, you probably noticed, or if you haven't, you should at least watch this episode of it's Wellsday, but also the opening ceremony and the closing ceremony of the Olympics as well in France, in Paris 2024. That there happened many things that were not done well, and moreover, they were done on purpose to show us something that we are not that we were not prepared for, because we were looking for the beautiful image of the sport itself, of the achievements, of pushing the human limits to become greater and greater sports heroes. And on the other hand, we've received some grand opening that was a mockery of the Last Supper, the painting from the Leonardo da Vinci, and that was received by the Catholic and Christian community worldwide, which is 1.3 billion people, as an attack on their beliefs and on their religion. We've received a strange ceremony, a closing ceremony of the Olympics, which was also perceived as a using the new communication of aliens, Prometheus or Lucifer. Inside there are some interpretations that is not totally not connected with the sport itself. So when you're looking on the project like this, that you invest a lot of money, that involves a lot of people, that gathers in a one place people from all over the world, the best athletes, the best sportsmen from all over the world, why isn't it prepared in a good way, in a perfect way? Because
the question would be, because as you say, why is not prepared in a good way, the perfect way, with a high quality? The question is, what was the goal here? Because I'm surely there was someone who made the decision to make this for the closing and open ceremony like this, or this way. There's not mistake, there's not coincidence. No. It was like
this was
months
all
of
planned.
preparations.
Yes.
So who planned it? What was the goal here? And yes, it has nothing to do with sport. So clearly there was some goal, but not sure if we are aware of this goal for the Olympics or for the organizers of the Olympics. But when looking at this as a from a project point of view, whenever you do projects, you need to do your risk assessment, you need to think of consequences, and you need to have a purpose, like what we're trying to do here. So if you take this framework of risk assessment and all these things that I just said and put it on Olympics and the welcome ceremony, what do you think that was it? What was the goal? Why they did what they did?
To answer this question properly, I would refer in the first place to the creative director of this event, opening event. And he said that the aim was not to mock or not to be against Christianity. It was the aim to be inclusive and to show that France is the place for everybody. And then there was a reaction on the internet that it was that France is a place for everybody, star, except Christians. So the feedback from the global community of one of the biggest religions in the world was negative. For me, it was a really strange performance. I would, but while answering to your questions, while analyzing this Olympics event, I would refer to the 7 P's of marketing mix, which is product, price, place, promotion, process, people, and physical evidence. And I usually, in my marketing career, use 7 P's instead of 4 P's because it gives you in-depth insights and availability to touch the processes that going under your service or under your product in more detail. So to make an opening ceremony like this, you need to hire certain people. In this case, there were drag queens hired to open the sports ceremony. What is the first, and we refer also here to the communication, which is the promotion, right? So what is the linking point between drag queens and sports athletes and the Olympics?
Drag queens can be sports athletes as well.
Yes, and there may be drag Olympics.
I think, look, would it be different if drag Olympics? Yeah, would it be different? I think it would be different if you would have, for example, drag queens like this. You show in inclusivity, you focus on that particular group, let's say, but you will have drag queens actually doing some sports activities.
Yeah.
Okay? And you can, I don't know, throw the things or aim or shoot things or whatever it is, or running, biking, cycling, triathlon, whatever it is, but make it in the context of Olympics and sports, because everything else is just out of any context. So
yes,
there's diverting from sports and making people focusing on other things. As I said, this is a promotional thing for France. So they used it for promoting us as a very open country, inclusive country. But it's again back to our one of our previous videos, how exclusive is your inclusivity strategy, right? And by being super inclusive on one group, you exclude 1.3 billion people.
This is also the question. This is also the question of the aim. If you're making the biggest sports event globally in 2024, is it really your priority to put the focus on the LGBTQ plus group, which is, as we mentioned in the episodes of It's Wellsday before, a small number of the total percentage of people worldwide, and this is also refers to our episode from June, that is Pride Month really for everybody? Yes, and what is the limit of the Pride activities that will not affect, for example, your traditional oriented workers or your conservative workers? Yes, that they have conservative values.
So that's just on that point. Why not adding? You can have people like LGBTQI plus community with the rainbow flags. Sure, why not? Can you have Christians with crosses and Muslims and Jewish people having their religious symbols there as well included? That shows full inclusivity of everyone. And if you're atheist or I don't know, you believe in, you're Pastafarian, you believe in flying spaghetti monster, you should have a place there too, because it doesn't matter, especially in sport. It should not matter, and that's I think that will be the key thing. It's a wrong way to say it probably, but I don't care if you're Jewish or if you're Christian. This is sports, so how much it's not about your your values. It's about sports and
yes, but it's very important what you're saying, because it's also the case in major big companies worldwide that are celebrating Pride Month, because in this month each year all processes are being pushed behind, and the main priority of the company for its existence and operations is the Pride Month. And the question is this scope of your business really worth being replaced during this month? For example, production efficiency, making a profit, everything else, people well-being, all groups of people in the workplace are worth, like for example in this Olympics event, are worth being sacrificed for the purpose of showing the inclusivity, right? For me, as a marketing person, it's really strange to see that the main purpose of any kind of business is to earn, yes, to generate generate profit. And when you're withholding your operations just to promote one thing, and especially that gives you so outrage globally as a feedback. The conclusion is that it's the resources put in this opening ceremony were placed in a wrong way, or were misplaced.
Yeah, and that's something that I wanted to touch base on as well. If you're thinking of the aim of it and why we can debate on that, of course. And there are certain things, in my opinion, that they're not tangible. I agree with you. Yep, the company is there to make profits, and Olympics should be about making profits, probably long-term showcasing France as a place, like touristic place, etc., etc., whatever they want to do it. So there are some things that will not be tangible as well. But say going from economics and profits, I'm thinking if we can bring this back to well-being as well, because this is Wellsday, and thinking everyone saw this those things about the beds made of carton, right, which is sustainable also, but is it really adding value to the people's well-being and sportsmen? And I saw there was some I believe there was a sportsman from Italy who was napping in a park, and he said that it's more comfortable sleeping in a park than in a bed. Do you have any other examples like that from like well-being perspective?
Of course, there were many. For example, swimmers that were made to swim in this. Yes, in the Seine. And after that, they were vomiting because it was so dirty. The water was so dirty. And the mayor of Paris told that the Seine's water is clear for the Olympics, but it was not true. So if they haven't prepared the field for performing the sports act by the best people in the world and have the result of vomiting participants, that is not the very best image of France at all, and the outcome that you would expect to have after doing the Olympics competition. Also, there were problems with logistics, so the processes regarding the 7P. People had the problem to get on time for the competitions. They were late because the shuttle buses were late, or the public buses were going around and they were not connected well. So imagine the situation, for example, that you've got the meeting with your board of directors and you cannot be on time because of the logistics prepared by your company itself. And you got lost in somewhere on the way to meeting with your board of directors, and this is a crucial moment for the meeting to make decisions that will affect the whole company. Like the sportsmen that didn't get on time and cannot participate in the live event of their own, in the sports live event. Also, they had problems with the food availability because the provided a system of food chain or restaurants provided for the Olympic members were forcing people to eat only vegetable meals. And if you on a strict sports diet, you also need a reliable source of proteins, of carbs, of fats. Usually you don't eat highly processed food. And they didn't have this option to choose from. So there were also texts and comments that people were made to eat outside of the Olympic city. So they had to feed themselves in the restaurants in the city because the food prepared by the French government, by the manager of the project, was not properly served, was not properly designed for their health needs and sports needs as well.
So again, back to what is needed and not meeting expectations, not meeting the needs of your. Can you say that if you're an organizer of Olympics, that sportsmen are kind of your customers there? Like you serve, you make sure that they are on time when they need to be on time. They have all the things that they need to
You have
success.
all supplies, yes.
Yeah, and you need to feed them in this case as well, listening to their needs or offering different options. And if there was not options, and then say people were made to make choices elsewhere,
Yes.
well, that's not good and definitely affecting your well-being. But also, when you're thinking of, because the saying and vomiting, this is like disgusting, really, and embarrassing for Paris and for the Olympics. But I'm just thinking of the not backlash, but consequences. And then again, it's the whole planning. So for you, it's 7 Ps in marketing. When it's like I'm looking at it from a project management perspective, and you need your resources, you're looking at your risk management, risk assessment, and those things. It's almost like you would have very inexperienced project manager and doing things. Okay, we go vegan because I want vegan. Everyone needs to go vegan, or I want this. So I don't care what you want, people. I'm just doing it my way, and it looks like this for me. And also the part of just the quality of preparation, or not enough preparation, let's say, or the quality of it. It's, I say, embarrassing, really.
Yes.
So that's really, when you're thinking of this big project, millions of dollars going on there.
I think hundreds of millions.
Yeah, well, yeah, billions probably.
Yeah.
But it's so huge. It should be, and I say it's never going to be perfect. But this is not. You can strive for perfections, but it's not going to be perfect. But you need to be clear on what you want to do and how you do it. Do this properly, and if there will be, and try to mitigate those risks, but also think of consequences. And I think this is the missing link here, that we're just doing things, but the consequences is bad reputation. So they wanted to sell Paris as a great place to visit, but now people might not have the same idea about Paris, but also economically. And I think that's something that you mentioned before our recording. There was some problem with people being finding what's the name, guests for rooms, etc., because people were not going to Paris anymore because of the opening ceremony.
Of course, if we are talking about well-being, we also need to take into consideration financial well-being, not only of the visitors and the participants of the Olympic Games, but also of the French people, which are running their businesses inside Paris and in France as well. And if you have lack of bookings in your, for example, hotel, on your restaurant, and you are prepared for the Olympics, you also invested in being prepared for the Olympics, and because of the organizer that didn't prepare all the event as well as it should be, you are gaining losses, right? And you are, because as a result of the fiasco, of the organizational fiasco of France, people will suffer economically. I mean, the business owners in France. And this is also the aspect of the bad preparation of the project. Taking it all together, the consequences of preparing such a big event, which is unprepared, or prepared, which is maybe well prepared, but also there's a second option to the first option that you said, that there was some inexperienced managers or executives, right? The second option, which also happens in big business, is, for example, that you've got a skilled workforce, but you've got a master communication or master order from the board management that says you need to do this no matter the cost, right? So this also brings us to the principles of marketing, principles of business. What are you doing? Why are you doing this? For whom are you doing this? How do you communicate this? How you're pricing this? What are the main and biggest problems that may occur? What are the biggest, the best solutions to respond to these problems? What is the perceived outcome? How we earn on this, right? What is the profit? And within these 9 questions, you can just tick in or tick out whether they were met during the Paris Olympics. And in fact, we answered to these questions by recording this episode of It's Wellsday, that those Olympics were not successful. I would use the statement that it was a marketing and PR fiasco for France. And this episode is also the result of this event, of this management.
Got the material.
That's right. I would never like to see the business case in a real business environment like this, that you're putting a lot of money, a lot of effort, a lot of time to make a global event that works so badly.
And look, one thing, as a final note, probably for me, I'm just looking at time as well, is that not all projects are successful. In fact, most projects are not successful because they always either, the golden triangle and everything, and principles of project management. But if that something doesn't work, I found that it's quite mature to own it. As yes, we made a mistake. Yes, we didn't plan this well. Or we ran out of money or whatever. I haven't heard anything from organizers of just saying like, yeah, well, it is what it is, kind of.
Of course, you haven't.
But and if there was I'm saying a project manager, but in the scope like this, probably like program manager, really. That if I wouldn't like to be a program manager and have this Olympics on my CV, definitely not.
No.
And really final thought from me is that I've noticed, and I've saw that the comparison of golden medals, and you mentioned it as well, that 100 years ago, the golden medals was 100% gold. That was real gold. Right now, it's just 1%. It's coveted really gold. And it's already been, you mentioned that some of the medals and the gold is already peeling off from them.
The gold foil,
yeah, the golden foil. And I think this is the best summary of those Olympics. On paper, it's all gold, it's pretty, and the idea is, of course, it's great. You get the best athletes in the world to compete and have the magical, spectacular thing to watch. But there's just very thin foil, and underneath is the real thing. So,
and it happens to be really, really merely good, or even we can say it's really bad.
It's not
to
even
use other words. Not to use other words. But if you so my final thought is that if you've seen this crappy event, it's good for you because you can take some key learnings from it for your company and for yourself. If you're deciding to organize or to be the participant, if there's such a large scale entrepreneurship in your life, think about what's your aim, who is it targeted to, why are you doing this, for whom are you doing this, what's the key benefits of doing this, how do you want to do this, just to make it good, just to make it work, just to make it worth viewing, and just to get excitement, the kind of excitement you want to have from your attendees, instead of having a backslash and a negative feedback and outrage of religious group or any other groups that is also, religious groups, ethnic groups, and so on. That's my conclusion. I think when you're making a project, just make it worthwhile, and the project that really matters.
Do your homework. Be prepared.
Yes,
that's the key. All right. Well, thank you for this enlightening conversation. I think, as I said, it's still really interesting for me to compare Olympics to a project in a company. I haven't heard this before. So thanks for your insights. And I believe that I will leave the closing of this episode to you.
My
Oh,
turn.
yeah.
So yeah, thank you guys for watching. If you like this content, please remember to give us a thumb up, also to subscribe and to share this episode with your friends and colleagues to make better projects in the future, especially in France for now, but also worldwide, globally, and to make all companies around the world better places to work and be in.
Awesome. Thank you, and see you next Wednesday.
Thank you, and see you next Wednesday. Bye-bye.
Hey.